This is my winter bikepacking setup that I've been using here in Arctic Finland over the past few days. I thought it'd be really cool to show you what I've got and how things have changed a little bit since the last time I went on a winter bikepacking trip. Every year I like to go on a particularly cold and snowy bikepacking trip somewhere in the world. In the past I've been to Arctic Norway, Iceland and now here in Lapland. I've made loads of mistakes on these winter bikepacking trips, but as I always say, there's no such thing as a bad mistake, only ones that you don't learn from. And I'm pleased to say that I have learned from those mistakes, and I've learned from the challenges that I faced in those two countries, Norway and Iceland, and I put them into practice here. Let's start with the bike. This is my Sonda Frontier, and if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know that I really love this bike. It's a hardtail mountain bike with 27.5-inch wheels, 3-inch tyres, so pretty chunky for this sort of stuff. It also has a RockShox Recon fork, 100mm of travel, which isn't a lot, but is perfect for these sort of conditions. It's fitted with a Topic Tetra rack at the front and tail fin suspension mounts, meaning I can fit these really cool Old Man Mountain hemlock bags and these dry bags on top. Moving to the middle of the bike, I have an Alpkit custom frame bag in there, a Stingray bag. It fits the bike perfectly because it's been designed around this frame. In there is where I store my water. In the past, I used to put a bladder in there and found that it froze very easily and I was basically without water. I found that out the hard way in Arctic Norway. So to remedy that, I now have a bladder in there that's also wrapped in like a little fleecy jumper and a hot water bottle that's also in a little fleecy jumper. So I fill both of those up with hot water before I go out on the trip, or if I'm camping, I get the stove out and heat up some water and put it in there, and that keeps the middle bag relatively warm and stops the water from freezing. It can be a whole day before the water freezes, which is absolutely fine. All I need is just enough to get me through the day and I can sort it out again for the next day. Underneath that I have a bottle cage, which is where I store my flask. On this trip I brought an old Alpkit flask and didn't test it before I came out, and I found that it gave up the ghost pretty much straight away. So anytime I put hot water in it, it instantly cools within about half an hour. So for this sort of trip it's been completely useless. Moving on to the back of the bike, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll know I'm a big fan of this MTX trunk bag from Topic. This is where I store all of my filming gear. So I've got my drone in there, main camera in here, and then on this side I have a load of essential snacks and basically substantial food that I need if I'm going to be camping so I can get a hot meal. Let's have a closer look at the fork bags and this dry bag here. I've broken my own rule on this trip. I always say never use a brand new piece of equipment on a brand new adventure, because chances are you'll not know how to use it, or if it goes wrong you have no idea what to do. It's going to ruin your trip. But I have broken that rule. I hadn't used these beforehand. They literally came a couple of days before I came on this trip. But I have used Old Man Mountain stuff in the past. It's really good quality, so I thought I'd risk it, and they have been absolutely fantastic. These hemlock fork bags are basically quick release. There's a handle on the back, meaning you can take them on and off super easy, but once they're on, they're really rigid and you can't take them off without doing the lever. So that's absolutely perfect for what I've been doing. At the front of the bike is basically where I store all of the essentials that I need easy access to while I'm out riding. So on this side I have a jet boil, gas canister and some snacks, and at the other side is basically utility stuff. So inner tubes, spares and repairs, pumps, things like that. So if I have an issue, I know exactly where to look. And on top here, I've just got a dry bag from Old Man Mountain, and in there I keep all of my spare dry clothes. So if I arrive at a campsite, I've got my warm stuff ready. I don't need to route about to find it. You may also notice I've got a light on here, which unfortunately has died a bit of a death. This is an old Alpkit bosun light, and the mount has basically ripped out. So although it was on the handlebars to begin with, it's now staying under the bungee cord. I just want to quickly touch on the tyres for a second. I often get asked if I use studded tyres, and I do have some, but I've actually not used them on this occasion. All I've done is really lowered the pressure on these 3-inch tyres, so they're very squashy, which gives me plenty of traction. I found I haven't needed studs here at all. You've probably noticed the big addition to this setup. I mean, you can't really miss it. I've added this Tula Chariot trailer, which I normally use when I'm taking my children out on the bike, but I wanted to bring it because something I learned when I was back in Iceland is that there is a limit to how much you can put on your bike without it compromising the steering, compromising the riding. So in the past, when I went to Iceland, I took all of my camping gear, all the essentials that I'd need to make sure that I'd survive a cold winter's night, but it was so big and so cumbersome, I had to strap it to the front of the bike with 2 dry bags, and it made the front so heavy it was really difficult to steer. So setting off in deep snow was almost impossible at times. So by getting the trailer, it means I can carry way more stuff and I can take some of the weight off the bike, which is ideal. I can fit all of my camping gear into this trailer easily, from my Arctic Kangaroo, which is a 4-season tent, to my North Face Inferno, which is a Arctic sleeping bag suited to -40 degrees. Plus any extras. There's absolutely loads of space in there, and it really does put my mind at ease knowing that I can take more than I think I need rather than just the absolute minimum because I can't fit any more on the bike. The fact that I have the trailer now gives me way more space and way more options. I was a little bit worried when I set up the trailer, thinking that it was going to affect handling and make it difficult to ride in the snow, but if anything, it's had the opposite effect. When I get bogged down in the snow, the inertia of the trailer has actually allowed me to get over that rut and keep the momentum going. So it hasn't caused any issues at all. In fact, it's made life easier. One really cool thing I wanted to show you, I'm really excited about bringing, is because I knew the snow was going to be deep here, I didn't just bring wheels for this trailer, I also brought some cross-country ski attachments. So you can take the wheels off, attach these skis, and it makes it so much easier when you're cycling through deep snow. The trailer basically glides over the top of the snow and you really notice that speed difference. Here in Finland, I was cycling through the national park the other day, and having those skis on meant I was going really fast down some hills. It was super. It didn't feel like I was out of control. It just felt like the trailer wasn't there, so I was going basically at normal speed. Another thing I want to point out is I fitted these redshift arc lights to the back of the trailer. Basically 2 bright lights that have been flashing like beacons, keeping me safe on the road. I've been absolutely amazed with the battery life on these. I've been cycling in really cold conditions from -15 to -25 every day, and these haven't died once. I was almost certain that they would because pretty much every other electronic I've got has failed in one way or the other, and I've had to store it in my jacket to keep it warm. But these have been absolutely fine, so that's a mega bonus for those. I also want to give a quick shout out to these. These are some Oakley goggles I bought last year, and these have been absolutely fantastic. It stops the snow and the wind getting in your eyes, so you can ride for longer, but they're also slightly tinted, so when you get those cold blue days that you get in this sort of terrain, it's nice to have that warmth in there. It basically makes it feel like you're in a slightly warmer place. Overall, I've had an amazing time here in Arctic Finland. It's been so much fun, and I've had no issues with this setup whatsoever, so I feel like I've finally cracked it, fingers crossed. So when I go on my next winter bikepacking trip, hopefully not too much will change here. I'm so glad I brought the trailer. It's been a game changer for me. It's meant I can bring more stuff, knowing that if I get caught out, I've got everything I need to survive. Plus, it's also made riding the bike easier. Similarly, it's also meant that the bike's had a bit of a break, because this poor Sonda Frontier has been overloaded many times on these sort of trips, but the fact that I can remove some of the weight and put it back in the trailer has given it a bit of a break and made it easier to ride. So that's it. If you haven't checked out my Arctic Finland trip, I'll leave a link up there to watch it. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.